Hello, welcome to the Lone Show. I'm your host, John May Lone, and this episode don't have regulars because, well, reasons, as always. As for our guest, he's from Ontario, Canada. He's an electrician, volunteer firefighter, and a project manager. Intriguing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you Sean Robinson.
Hi there. How are you? I'm excited to be here.
Yes, me too. So, how is life?
Life is going great. I've got 3 young kids who keep me busy, and I've learned through this journey that it's better to look more positively than to complain about things.
Exactly. Couldn't agree more. And have you been up to much recently?
Yeah, recently, other than my kids keeping me busy, just trying to stay true to this new path that I found for myself, and to just challenge myself to try things that I haven't tried before or wouldn't have tried before.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So for being an electrician, volunteer firefighter, and project manager, what was the journey between the three?
So the journey that brought me here, basically working construction, working as a volunteer firefighter. I've done each for about 20 years total, and very, very masculine, very, very toxic masculine environment. And with that, and my dad's a mechanic, just a very masculine upbringing, I felt like I couldn't talk about issues. I couldn't bring things forward that were bothering me, that I had to just toughen up and fix it. And my drinking alcohol, kind of my routine and habit, circulated those things, and it was kind of separate but also related. And it just got to a point where I was 320 pounds, feeling both mentally and physically miserable, and needed to make a change. I thought I knew what I needed to do, but regardless, it just wasn't happening. So I reached a bit of a rock bottom for myself and needed something to change. Decided that removing alcohol was a good first step to healthier living and a better attitude.
Nice, nice. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
I think I would choose somewhere, being from Ontario and not having been many places. I think I'd like to be in Europe or England, Ireland, somewhere that direction.
Yeah, I'd say the same too. I like more of the Mediterranean parts, like southern Spain and France. Italy's all over the place in the Mediterranean for sure.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Oh yeah. Have you ever heard of a drink called banana friche?
I don't think I have.
Fair enough, I get that a lot from a lot of guests.
What is it?
Well, it's kind of like a banana flavored milkshake slash smoothie, and the tingling sensation is immeasurable.
That sounds nice.
It sure does. Would you rather not be able to open closed doors or not be able to close open doors?
I think I'd want to not be able to open closed doors. I'd like to be able to move forward and to have maybe not the rodents, animals, but just be able to have things come in.
Yes, just stick to the path in which it leads you to.
Yes.
Nice. Would you rather be able to breathe underwater or have the agility of a cat?
I would rather have the agility of a cat. I think there's a lot underwater, a lot of unknowns to just wouldn't be able to survive properly.
I can see that. What is your favorite kind of dessert?
Favorite dessert? My biggest problem with any diet is cookies and apple pie.
Ah, okay, that's cool. Is there an app that you hate, but you still use it anyway?
I think there's a few social media apps that that I'm more of a habit to keep going. So I think social media as a whole would be my first thought there.
Okay, I agree, I guess. How did you spend your last birthday?
My last birthday was in August, and it I'm 39 years old. I've got young kids. My birthday was, I think, a Tuesday this year, and I was doing a sugar-free challenge. So I had Greek yogurt, sugar-free Greek yogurt with some blueberries as my cake, while the rest of my family had normal cake stuff. And being a Tuesday, I had like an hour after work and before bedtime where I just read.
All right then.
Not very exciting.
I mean, it could be worse, to be honest.
Yes, it could.
If you could travel back in time, what decade would you want to live in?
Back in time, I think somewhere probably 70s or 80s. I think for development, there's a lot of inventions and a lot of property uh, purchasing and dollar value stuff that I could benefit from differently if I beat someone else to it. So I think not that far back, but somewhere before this big boom that's going on.
Ah, yes. Those were the days. When things break, do you prefer to fix them or replace them?
I am so coming from being my dad being a mechanic and myself being electrician. I'm more apt to try and fix things, uh, especially with three young kids with the volume of things that they break. Super glue and small screws seem to fix quite a bit, and a little bit of tape. So I prefer to fix things.
Okay, nice. If you could know the truth and only the truth to only one question, what question would you ask?
The truth to one question. I would. I'm not about to get political, but I think I would be interested in some form of agenda question with I guess the way the markets are going and what it is we're told. There's a lot of unknown there that I think I'd want to maybe dive into.
Yes, I ask myself the same thing, especially in fact, where I've heard so much about. Have you heard of CBDCs?
I think so. Yeah. It rings a bell. I'm just not can't place it.
So it's basically digital money, from what I remember.
Yes.
And the thing is, if it's digital money by the government, who's to say the government doesn't have control over money that they created?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's
if
interesting.
yes, and especially if you've done something wrong, if it's like even as like a few years ago, even the punishment for whatever crimes they have committed many years ago, you would be restricted from certain places, and it could have everlasting effects
Hmm.
if it's not corrected efficiently or adequately or whatever.
Yes, and there's another thing I'm thinking too is like the lottery system. It can't be random. I'm thinking like it's a way to control
It's a setup.
society to think there's something better as long as they keep buying these tickets and playing these games when really it's just a pacifier. It's not a means to an
It's just a tax on stupid people.
end. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
What is the best way to start the morning?
The best way to start the morning for me, I like getting outside and going for a walk. Uh, Shortly by following with a coffee of some variety. But my kids, I get up before them, and it's nice to just go go for a walk in the morning, listen to a podcast or some music, and just be in my own.
Nice, nice. Would you consider yourself to be an extrovert or an introvert?
I think for a long time I thought, and I'm definitely more introverted, but I think it was just easier that way for me. And I've got some strengths in both, introvert and extrovert. And I think the definition, we don't entirely get it. We just think it's easier to hide from people, so we consider ourselves introverted. But then when we have an opportunity to, like, I've been doing some workshops and stuff, so to be in that environment and tell these people that I'm speaking to that I'm introverted, and they're like looking at me like I've got three heads. So I think it's easier for us to be introverted, but we can definitely be a bit of both, or maybe more extroverted.
Oh, okay, cool, cool. What could you do a 40-minute presentation on without any preparation?
I've been a trainer on the fire department for most of my 20 years, so I can definitely speak to any fire department related content easily for well beyond 14 minutes. And then with all my development in the last couple of years, I can definitely speak to any personal development, habit forming, toxic masculinity. It's pretty well with my presentation experience to be able to fill 14-minute.
Ah, nice. What kind of music do you often listen to?
Because I've been in the podcast world and just absorbing as much content as I can. I don't stay current with any new music. I listen to a lot of different genres, from like heavy metal to country to whatever, and I seem to be stuck in like a 90s 2000 era for like a rock grunge type music. Seems to be my go-to.
Hmm, okay. What was the funniest picture you've taken?
I'm sorry.
What was the funniest picture you have taken?
Funniest picture, probably some pictures of my kids, just different faces and different moments that it's kind of, we'll laugh about them for a long time.
Oh, that's nice. What is something popular now, but in 5 years, everyone will look back on it and be embarrassed they liked it?
Um, I think some of our social media stuff we'll look back on, memories will show up, and we'll wonder, why were we into these things? It seems to be the cycle that we're into. We look back and wonder why we did things the way we did.
Yes, I would say the same thing. In fact, I've actually looked back at my couple of my old Musically videos, and I'm like, why was I like this? It makes no sense. But
Yeah.
hey, I mean, honestly, it could be way worse.
Oh yeah, it definitely could be. Just think those are the things we share. Those are the things that'll pop up later that we'll look back and wonder. We won't see, a lot of the stuff we don't share with people, but those memories will come, and we'll wonder why we were wearing what we were, or why we were doing the things we were.
Yep, they will certainly live on. What improved your life quality so much you wish you did it sooner?
This is easy. And it wasn't related to drinking, even though that was where my start, by eliminating alcohol, but just giving myself permission to be different than what I was used to doing, and trying things that I wasn't used to doing. So I wish that I would have discovered that sooner, and realized that we're not expected to maintain a certain attitude for the rest of our life. We can change at any point. So I think I wished I would have found that much earlier than I did, but I don't have any regrets. I think it happened when it needed to.
Ah, of course. Would you ever try space tourism?
I wouldn't rush to get into a plane with any of the marketing and sales people at Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, but I think if the development goes the way that it's probably going to, I wouldn't be against it. but like going deep dive ocean touring, I think I know my place, and I'd sooner not be above or below a certain altitude where I feel safe.
Okay, I'd say the same-ish, kind of. Yes, I guess. Skibbity boop bap. What hobby would you get into if time and money weren't an issue?
Time and money, hobby, probably some form of, I don't want to say NASCAR, but maybe like something to do with sports cars. And I don't, not collecting because you can only drive one at a time, but maybe some form of, uh, I guess, travel or tourism with like expensive vehicles.
Hmm, cool. Would you rather be really hot or really cold?
I would rather be cold. Uh, you can only take off so many layers. Cold, as long as you're not, naked in the Arctic, you can reach for as many layers as you need to help. So hot, you can't. You can only lose so much. So I'm gonna go with cold.
Hmm, sweet. If your mind was an island, what would it look like?
My island would have, it would be separate. There'd be like some areas where it'd be extremely quiet, and then there'd be silly areas. I think it would look a lot like the movie. Um, and I'm struggling. It was a Pixar movie with the young girl, and they were constantly in their mind. So at moments it would be like, Family Island section, and then there'd be Sports Island.
Hmm, nice. That's actually my kind of holiday. Well, speaking of which, if you had to get rid of a holiday, which would you get rid of?
I'd get rid of Easter. It's very, the kids like the chocolate, but it's the most irritating, I think, because how did we believe that was a thing for so long? And I don't mean the religious part of it, because I know that's very much a
Yeah,
thing.
absolutely.
I don't come from the religious portion, but I would get rid of the Easter bunny part of Easter.
Yeah, I feel like that a lot of these celebrations are just like marketing promotion stunts, just like as a way to profit out of certain holidays. So I think the whole Easter Bunny side of things is just a marketing ploy, just like make the moolah, you know?
Yeah,
It has
yeah,
it's nothing to do with the religious part. It's just how can we make the moolah from the
it,
people?
yep. And then as soon as they can, all these stores get putting their stuff out. Like Halloween, I think they started advertising for Halloween a month or two ago. Like I started to see stuff going up because that was the next thing that was coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Which recent news story have you found most interesting?
I I think there's so many, but that whole Titanic submarine venture that failed, just the with the whole way that happened, and how it probably shouldn't have gone the way that it did. So I think that was probably the most interesting that I spent time looking into.
Ah, all right then. Do you like spicy food?
Yes, as long as it doesn't not too spicy that it burns like my entire taste buds off, but a certain amount is good.
Hmm. Yeah, me too. What has taken you the longest to get good or decent at?
I think just self control, like talking cookies and apple pie, just sugar and not having it in a way that affect, like being 320 pounds for a while, like it was a staple, but to remove that as well and get used to not having it, I think just that self control was something that took me a long time.
Yeah. If someone came up to you and said, "Hey, do that thing you do," what thing would pop in your head first?
Um, I don't know. I'm this is more my introverted side coming out, but stay pretty reserved as far as that goes, especially because I'm not drinking anymore. But um, I don't know. I don't know what people would want from me to do.
Okay. If you could use magic to do one mundane task for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Um, I think magic to teleport from one place to another, so that I wouldn't have to spend time driving to places or the travel portion. It could kind of just be where I wanted to be.
Hmm, interesting. I never thought of it that way. If you had to bury a treasure chest, where would you hide it?
I would I would choose somewhere probably deep in the forest. I'm not sure it doesn't matter which forest, but somewhere in an open area of a non traveled section of forest. I think would be somewhere that I could pinpoint and use.
Hmm, alright then. If you had to pick any character in a book, movie, or TV show, who is most similar to you?
Mm, book, movie, or TV show? I would think. Uh, hmm, I don't. I haven't been watching a lot of TV right now, so I'm thinking older stuff. Maybe Jack Black in School of Rock.
Yeah, I like Jack Black. He's a funny man.
Mm-hmm.
How much time do you spend on the internet?
Probably way too much with work and my social media presence and kids stuff. So probably a lot more than I'd like to, but it's what it is. It's such a hard thing to avoid.
Oh yes, absolutely. Is it better to use shampoo as soap or soap as shampoo?
Um, I would think shampoo as soap.
Patience is always the key. If your life was a meal, what kind of meal would it be?
I would think some sort of pasta gumbo, everything tossed into a what looks like a giant mess, but somehow it's still good.
Ah, yes. I also actually want to try that someday, but never got around to it because distractions are always BAM! Right in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. What should they teach in high school, but they don't?
I don't know that it speaks for every country, every area, but I think they need to teach more about life and what to expect when you have to do things on your own, maybe fix things on your own. More first aid. I don't think they teach enough first aid in schools, and I think just accounting, how to budget, how to invest, like a lot of things that would help you more than angles of triangles and things.
That'd be pretty good, to be honest. It'd be nice for people to know what should I do if someone's knocked out on the floor, how to revive them, and other first aid terms and words.
Yeah,
Yeah. Would you rather never use social media again, or never watch another movie or TV show again?
I think for this season of my life, I'm good with movies and TV shows. I don't watch any as it is, and find a better use of time um, on social media. But that likely will change, and I would probably choose the other.
Okay, very good. What would you choose as the eighth wonder of the world?
I think just without getting a location, but just mentally, the eighth wonder is that rest and quiet period that we could all use in our daily routines. Would be that eighth wonder is just that bliss of being relaxed and quiet, even for just a short amount of time.
Yes, of course. What is your favorite quote?
Favorite quote? I've got so many. I think the one that pops into my head first is if you're using a rear view mirror to guide your path, you're going to crash. You need to look forward.
Yes. Because if you don't look forward, you're going to, bam, right in front of you, something came out of nowhere.
Yeah, we can't look back to move forward.
Yes, of course. What movie would greatly be improved if it was made into a musical?
Musical movies, not a fan. I don't know. Live. I've seen a few live shows that musicals it fits, Rock of Ages and such, but I don't know how many movies I'd turn into that. It has to be a a real creative thing. But anything, I
Yes.
guess anything that is about a musician, any sort of biography, biopic movie that is about that person or band's life that could easily be told in a musical. I think that would probably work easily.
Yeah, of course. Would you rather speak all languages or talk to animals?
I'd rather speak all languages. Not sure what we would learn from being able to talk to animals. My son loves animals. He would definitely choose to talk to animals.
Nice, nice. How often do you stay up late?
Probably more than I should. Definitely have an issue of trying to go to bed, especially if I'm getting up early to go for a run or a walk.
Ah.
Most nights.
What was the stupidest joke you've ever heard?
This season of my life, I am hearing a lot of really awful dad jokes. So I can't. There's one. It's uh, why did the golfer wear two pairs of pants? In case he got a hole in one. That type.
Oh, okay. And that is all we have for this episode. It was great having you on, Sean, talking about your electrician work, volunteering as a firefighter, your project managerial stuff, and a lot of other things along those. It's been great.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I like your format. A lot of questions that really get you thinking, and just just a different, fun way to communicate and have an interview.
Yes, exactly. And until next time, stay tuned for more.